What if I told you one island nation transformed ancient traditions, warrior culture, technology, and the modern world forever? This is the extraordinary story of Japan, a land of warriors, wisdom, resilience, and unforgettable transformation. Millions of years ago, volcanic forces created the Japanese islands, beginning the extraordinary story of the land of the rising sun. Separated by oceans, Japan developed a unique identity, shaped by mountains, forests, and powerful natural forces. Volcanoes, earthquakes, and oceans constantly challenged the people who would build Japan's future. Thousands of years ago, the first humans crossed the seas and discovered these mysterious islands. Long before emperors and samurai, small communities survived through nature, hunting, and fishing. Mount Fuji became a timeless symbol of Japan's spiritual connection with nature and beauty. Japan's people learned resilience while facing storms, earthquakes, and an unpredictable environment. Small settlements appeared across the islands, creating the foundations of Japanese society. Protected by the ocean, Japan grew separately while developing its own traditions and beliefs. From around 14,000 BCE to 300 BCE, ancient communities built the foundations of Japan's first great civilization. Around 14,000 BCE, the Jōmon people created one of the world's earliest cultures, living in harmony with nature. Before kingdoms existed, nature provided everything the Jōmon people needed to survive and flourish. Families gathered around glowing fires, sharing food, stories, and traditions passed through countless generations. The Jōmon created some of the world's oldest and most beautiful clay pottery with remarkable craftsmanship. Hunting deer, fishing coastal waters, and gathering forest foods sustained the Jōmon for thousands of years. The mountains, rivers, animals, and forests were believed to hold powerful sacred spirits. Small clay figures called dogu were crafted for rituals, protection, and mysterious spiritual beliefs. Every changing season demanded skill, patience, and deep knowledge of the natural world. For nearly 10,000 years, the Jōmon culture thrived before a new era transformed Japan forever. Around 300 BCE, new influences arrived from across Asia, transforming Japan through farming, technology, and new traditions. Beginning around 300 BCE, the Yayoi Revolution introduced rice farming, metal tools, and powerful new communities. Rice cultivation created permanent villages, stronger communities, and the wealth that shaped Japan's future kingdoms. Bronze bells and iron weapons forever changed farming, warfare, and the balance of power across Japan. As wealth increased, powerful clans fought fiercely to control land, harvests, and the growing population. Huge keyhole-shaped tombs revealed the rise of mighty rulers whose power echoed across the islands. The Yamato clan united rival tribes and laid the foundations of Japan's imperial dynasty. A royal court began shaping laws, traditions, and the identity of a united Japanese nation. Buddhist monks crossed the sea, bringing sacred teachings, magnificent temples, and a spiritual transformation. Prince Shotoku promoted Buddhism, stronger government, and a vision that transformed early Japan. Between 300 and 600 AD, powerful clans united, creating the early foundations of the Japanese state. In 710 AD, Japan established Nara as its first permanent capital, beginning a golden age of culture and Buddhism. A colossal bronze Buddha became a symbol of faith, peace, and the growing influence of Buddhism. Across the land, magnificent temples united spirituality, architecture, and artistic brilliance. The imperial court of Heian became one of the world's most refined centers of elegance and tradition. Poetry, music, and painting flourished as Japan embraced its own unique cultural identity. Murasaki Shikibu created the tale of Genji, a masterpiece admired across the world for centuries. While nobles celebrated beauty, skilled warriors quietly gained power across the provinces. Life at court revolved around ceremonies, music, graceful traditions, and breathtaking artistic expression. As the imperial court weakened, ambitious warrior clans prepared to reshape Japan forever. In 1185 AD, after the Genpei War, warrior clans took control and opened the legendary age of the samurai. In 1185 AD, the samurai became the dominant force in Japan, changing the nation's politics and warfare forever. The mighty Taira and Minamoto clans fought a devastating civil war to control the future of Japan. The decisive naval battle ended the Genpei War and changed Japan's destiny forever. Victorious leader Minamoto no Yoritomo became Japan's first shogun, establishing military rule over the nation. A new military government ruled from Kamakura, placing the samurai above the imperial court. Samurai embraced loyalty, courage, discipline, and honor, creating the legendary warrior code called Bushido. Zen Buddhism shaped the samurai spirit, teaching calm minds before even the fiercest battles. Kublai Khan sent enormous fleets toward Japan, threatening the islands with overwhelming military power. A powerful typhoon destroyed the Mongol fleets, saving Japan in what became known as the Divine Wind. From 1185 to 1333 AD, samurai rule shaped Japan through loyalty, discipline, and military tradition. In 1336 AD, the Ashikaga shogunate began the Muromachi era, bringing a new chapter of power and culture. The Ashikaga shoguns controlled Japan, yet regional warlords steadily grew stronger than the central government. Magnificent architecture reflected Japan's artistic brilliance, even as political instability spread across the nation. Rival daimyo fought endless battles, plunging Japan into the violent Sengoku period of constant warfare. Towering castles rose across Japan as warlords fortified their lands against relentless enemies. In the darkness, mysterious ninja carried out espionage, sabotage, and daring missions beyond the battlefield. Using speed, intelligence, and deception, ninja accomplished missions impossible for ordinary soldiers. Entire provinces burned as ambitious warlords battled relentlessly for complete control of Japan. Legendary warlords emerged, each dreaming of uniting Japan under a single powerful banner. By 1560 AD, ambitious warlords competed for control, and one leader was preparing to unite a divided Japan. In 1560, Oda Nobunaga stunned Japan by defeating a far larger army, beginning his quest to unite the nation. In 1575, Nobunaga's disciplined musket troops shattered traditional cavalry tactics at Nagashino. Nobunaga crushed powerful warrior monks, breaking centuries of religious military influence in Japan. In 1582, Oda Nobunaga was betrayed by one of his own generals, ending his remarkable rise. From humble origins, Toyotomi Hideyoshi completed the unification that Nobunaga had begun. Hideyoshi built the magnificent Osaka Castle, symbolizing his power over a newly united Japan. Hideyoshi launched ambitious invasions of Korea, but the costly wars ultimately failed. The Battle of Sekigahara gave Tokugawa Ieyasu complete control and changed Japan's future forever. In 1603, Tokugawa Ieyasu became shogun, establishing a government that would rule for over 250 years. After centuries of warfare, Japan finally stood united beneath one powerful shogunate, entering a new era. In 1603, Tokugawa Ieyasu established the Edo shogunate, bringing peace after centuries of civil war. Edo rapidly became one of the world's largest cities, filled with merchants, artisans, and thriving markets. For over 2 centuries, the Tokugawa shogunate maintained remarkable stability across the Japanese islands. Entertainment districts flourished with kabuki theaters, tea houses, music, and unforgettable artistic traditions. Highly trained geisha became respected artists, preserving music, dance, conversation, and refined Japanese traditions. Although peace replaced war, samurai continued to live by the timeless code of Bushido. In 1639, Japan closed itself to most foreign nations, protecting its traditions through centuries of isolation. Only limited Dutch and Chinese trade continued through the tiny artificial island of Dejima. Master artists created timeless woodblock prints that later inspired painters across Europe and beyond. In 1853, powerful foreign warships appeared, ending Japan's long isolation and changing history forever. In 1868, the Meiji Restoration ended the Tokugawa shogunate and returned power to the young emperor. In 1877, the last great samurai rebellion ended, marking the final chapter of Japan's warrior age. Railways, factories, schools, and modern industries transformed Japan with astonishing speed. Japanese leaders traveled abroad, studying Western science, education, and technology to strengthen their nation. Japan's victory over Qing China shocked Asia and announced its arrival as a modern military power. Japan defeated Imperial Russia, becoming the first Asian nation in modern times to overcome a European empire. Modern factories, expanding railways, and advanced shipyards transformed Japan into an industrial powerhouse. As Japan grew stronger, its leaders expanded their influence across East Asia through military and political power. By the 1930s, Japan possessed one of the world's most powerful armies and navies. Growing tensions across Asia and the Pacific pushed Japan toward a conflict that would change history forever. On December 7, 1941, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, bringing the United States into World War II. The Pacific became one of history's largest battlefields as fierce fighting spread across thousands of islands. Families endured hardship as food shortages, air raids, and uncertainty became part of daily life. In 1945, devastating bombing campaigns destroyed large parts of Japan's major cities. On August 6, 1945, Hiroshima suffered the first wartime atomic bombing, changing history forever. 3 days later, Nagasaki was struck by a second atomic bomb, deepening the tragedy of war. On August 15, 1945, Emperor Hirohito announced Japan's surrender, bringing the war to an end. Under Allied occupation, Japan introduced democratic reforms and began rebuilding from the devastation of war. In 1947, Japan adopted a new constitution, embracing democracy and renouncing war as national policy. By 1952, Japan regained its sovereignty, beginning an extraordinary journey toward peace and prosperity. Between 1955 and 1973, Japan achieved astonishing economic growth, becoming one of the world's leading industrial powers. In 1964, Japan introduced the revolutionary Shinkansen, setting new global standards for high-speed rail. Japanese innovation transformed electronics, robotics, automobiles, and manufacturing across the modern world. Tokyo grew into one of the world's greatest cities, blending futuristic innovation with timeless cultural traditions. Anime, manga, video games, cuisine, and fashion carried Japan's creativity to every corner of the world. On March 11, 2011, a massive earthquake and tsunami brought unimaginable destruction to northeastern Japan. Communities united with extraordinary courage, rebuilding homes, lives, and hope after the devastating disaster. From robotics to space exploration, Japan continues shaping the future through imagination, precision, and innovation. Ancient temples, samurai heritage, and timeless traditions continue to thrive beside cutting-edge technology. From ancient villages to global innovation, Japan's remarkable journey continues to inspire the world with resilience, tradition, and progress. Empires disappeared, battles ended, yet Japan's spirit continues inspiring the world through discipline, creativity, and endless innovation. This was the story of Japan, a civilization shaped by warriors, wisdom, and innovation across thousands of years. But history is filled with many more incredible nations waiting to be explored. Which country should we uncover next? Tell us in the comments below. Until our next journey, keep exploring, keep discovering, and remember, every nation has a story worth telling.